Hello friends, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another frame upcycling video. As you can tell, I really enjoy upcycling old photo frames, and so this time I found this plain old photo frame in my local charity shop and I decided to give it a little splash of colour. So the first thing that I did was prepare my surface for repainting. So to do that I used my all-purpose cleaning spray and I gave it a really good scrub and made sure to get all of the dust and any dirt off of my frame. Then once I was done with the cleaning spray, to get any cleaning spray residue off of my frame, I just used a little bit of clean water and a clean cloth to wipe it all down. Once it was all dry, I used methylated spirit to degrease my surface. To degrease your surface, you could just use soapy water or a spirit that you might have lying around like vodka or whiskey or something like that, or rubbing alcohol, anything that will help you get that surface nice and clean. With my surface nice and prepped, I go ahead and mix up my paint. So I'm still using up my teal leftovers, as you can see, but I wanted it to be a little bit lighter, so I added a little bit of white chalk paint into the mix, thus making it much lighter and also chalkier, which gave me a better coverage. So if you don't have teal color of your own, then to mix up teal color you will need blue, yellow and green, and you mix them in equal parts, and then when you get that shade you can keep adding more of green or blue or yellow depending on what you would like to achieve. So here's a little tip for you: if you're ever stuck with the paints that you have and you would like to use something different and you don't have the specific shade, just go ahead and type into Google the shade that you would like to get, and I promise you Google will tell you how to mix up your own paint. And most of the time, if you already have your white, grey, black and sort of all of the primary colors, you will be able to mix up any of the shades that you want to get. So anyways, I went ahead and I painted my frame, and I did end up having to put 3 coats on it, both on the front and the back of the frame, to make sure that I got everything covered, but I did not film all 3 coats of it. Nobody needs to watch me apply 3 coats of paint. After I applied all 3 coats of my paint, I did end up using the same paint for shading as well, except this time I made it darker again. So I added a little bit of black and a little bit of ultramarine into it, and I mixed it all up well, and then using a dry natural bristle brush, again my favorite method, I went ahead and I brushed my paint over all of the raised parts on the frame, and I went over the parts that I wanted to be darker more times, of course, and with a little bit more paint, and then the parts that I wanted to be lighter, I made sure to get rid of as much paint as possible before I go over those parts. But overall, again, it's a very simple technique. If you've watched my videos before, you've seen me do this loads of times already. Like I said, I just go over all of the raised parts, and wherever the paint sticks, that's where it stays. And the parts where it doesn't go in, I did not try and go into them, because I wanted the paint to create more of that dimension to make sure that you were able to see all of the lovely details of this frame. Last bit of decor that I wanted to add was a little bit of bling, a little bit of gold over some of the raised parts, specifically the lovely florals with the bow on top of the frame and the little dotted bits. I just used my finger to add a little bit of the wax over the florals and the bow, and then for the more detailed part, the little dotted edge on the outside and the insides of the frame, I did use a brush because I wanted a little bit more precision, and unfortunately my fingers aren't small enough to give me enough precision, so I used a brush. Little side note, so I used this wax before I used Annie Sloan wax to seal it, which, spoiler alert, I used my Annie Sloan wax to finish it again. Little tip, if you're going to follow this, apply your gold wax over the top of your finishing wax. When I woke up next day and looked at my frame, the gold wax had really dulled down a lot. I don't know what caused it. Maybe I applied the clear wax too soon after applying gold, but I did have to go over all of the gold bits again the next day to get them shiny again. So if you're going to do this and you're going to finish your frame with a wax, apply your decor wax over the top of the finishing bit. It's fine to apply it over the finishing bit because gilding wax does not need sealing. It kind of just cures itself in the same way as normal wax does. With the sealing wax, I go over the whole thing once, and anti-slime wax can take up to 30 days to cure, so the longer you leave it the better. And then to finish it all off completely, I picked out a nice rose paper out of a paper pad that I have, cut out an oval and put it inside of the frame. And I think it's always a lovely touch to do something like that with your frames and replace the old boring bit of paper that they use for displaying picture frames. Of course, I also cleaned the glass, made sure that it doesn't have any fingerprint or anything on it, and that is it. A very, very simple upcycling project. I hope that this has maybe inspired you to upcycle some of your old frames or maybe some of your old pieces that you have lying around your home. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Subscribe for more videos like this. If you would like to connect with me on other social media, there's links for that in the description below. There's also a link for my shop where you can buy most of the projects that I do make and some other things if you're interested. If not, that's fine. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!